You are listening to Insurance Talk with Cherie Martinen and Rex Lesser. We are the father-daughter team from Bancorp Insurance, located in beautiful Central Oregon. We are here today to talk about a fun thing that came across our desk from the state fire marshal, and we are so excited.
Yes, we are. Well, maybe excited isn't the right thing to say, but it is something that is going to affect almost everybody in the state. What the state has done is they've passed Senate Bill 762. And what does 762 do? Well, basically it establishes that a fire map is going to be created by the fire marshal. And this fire map is going to document every area in the state and give it a code as to whether it's low fire hazard, wildfire hazard, medium fire hazard, high or extremely high. Then any areas of the state that are in high or extremely high are now going to be subject to a change in the code for Oregon. This would be the building code. So your local county building code people are going to be administering this. How that works is that, and I'm going to read this. It amends the current Oregon Residential Specialty Code, section R327, to apply to new buildings, dwellings, and accessory structures, dwellings in extreme or high wildfire classes in the urban growth interface. It also says, amend the current residential specialty code to extend wildfire hazard mitigation code standards to apply to existing dwellings that are replacing exterior elements of the structure. So if you're building a new house and you're building or you're doing a major remodel on your current house, before the county will issue you your permit, or as part of it, you are now going to have to bring your property to the new wildfire code. And
what's the code?
Oh, what's the code? Well, you're going to have to create defensible space.
What's defensible space?
And okay, well, let's take this. Let's think of all right, we've got a medieval castle. All right, you've never seen a medieval castle with forest right up next to it. They have places for so you can see the enemy. Well, in this case, the enemy is going to be fire, and we're going to need to create an area around the house, minimum of 30 feet, that is basically going to only have very, very low shrubs and grass, no trees.
Or if there is trees, they're properly trimmed and they're further away from the house and there's no shrubbery below them.
Yes, and so everybody's home that's going to be built and everybody's house that's going to have an addition put on it or many major changes, we're going to have to bring their home to this code. The definition of defensible space, or what they say about it here, is defensible space is the buffer you create between your business or home and grass, trees, shrubs, or any wildland area that's surrounded it. Proper defensible space can slow, stop, or the spread of wildfire, and to help protect your home and business. So what the whole point of this is we were trying to avoid what happened in Paradise, California. Just as one example, one of many examples, or what happened a couple years ago on our Labor Day firestorm that we had. We're trying to make it so that these this kind of thing won't happen. And if there's a 30-foot buffer between your house and the forest, it's less likely to happen, not that it won't.
Yeah. They have given a lot of literature, which is really wonderful. I have got some for tips for protecting your home from wildfire. Is there anything else on the code that you want to share?
No, not really. I think that's pretty straightforward as to what the code is. Basically, you got to create that defensible space.
So how do you create that defensible space? I got that section.
There is, by the way, still some public comment going on this, so you can get online and comment on this. This is going to create a hardship for a lot of people. I mean, if you have an elderly couple or somebody who isn't physically capable of going out and cutting down trees and creating this defensible space. It's gonna cost some people quite a bit of money.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I would suggest that everyone checks out the map. They have the wildfire risk map already out. That I think they've got it at Oregon Wildfire Risk Explorer, or you can just probably Google it, the wildfire risk map, and it'll come up for the Forestry Service. It's a pretty cool map.
Mm-hmm.
It shows most of the state as
red.
Red.
Oh.
I don't want to say red. It's got a good chunk that is in that moderate to high to extreme risk.
Yeah, well, that's because we have a state with lots of trees. There are some sections like Southern Oregon, if you get down to Jackson and Lane counties, not Jackson County, but Jackson County and Josephine County. Both of those are, show up as almost bright red the whole county. So this, by the way, is going to take effect in 2023. The rules are going to be all codified here between now and the end of the year. So your public comment is something that might be a thing to do.
And we'll have a link for a place that you can do that from this podcast as well.
So that's what is happening, and this is something that's going to create better outcomes when it comes to wildfire in most of the state over the next years. I mean, this is something that's going to take 10 or 20 years, maybe 30 years to get all of the dwellings to the point where they have this defensible space thing. Now, as insurance agents, we've been talking defensible space forever.
I know, let me get to my top 10.
Okay, top 10.
Do it.
Okay.
All right. You can protect your home from defensible space by removing dead and combustible vegetation, mulch, and other materials, especially within first several feet of your home. Replace with decorative rock or gravel. 2. Remove leaves, pine needles, and other debris from the roof, gutters, or anywhere on your deck. It prevents embers from igniting on your home. 3. Cover exterior attic vents, soffit vents, and areas below the deck and patio with metal mesh wire that is 1/8 inch teeny tiny little netting.
Right.
Mesh.
And the reason that you do the mesh is if there's a wildfire in the area, there's lots of embers, your house attic will heat up. And the air in the attic will, of course, when it heats up, it expands. And it goes out the upper vents. Well, when that happens, the lower vents that you see under your eaves, the air is sucked in there, and it's being sucked in the lower vents and out the upper vents. If there's embers in the air, it's possible for those embers to be sucked into your attic. And once the embers in your attic, your house is done.
They even talk about individuals who are prepping their house to leave before a wildfire, putting that silver tape over it and stuff like that. And we've talked about that on this podcast before too. So those vents are very important. Number 4 is they have replaced combustible plants and furniture and cushions on your deck with non-combustible types. They don't say what type that is, but non-combustible, maybe metal. Super comfy. Number 5 is enclose the eaves to help prevent ember entry again, making sure the vegetation is clear. They also say to inspect your roof for replacing or missing shingles and tiles.
Now, if you have a wood roof, if you have a shake roof,
you
gotta get rid of that.
Get rid of that.
You can't treat them. I know there's fire retardant materials you can put on a roof like that, but no. That's basically putting kindling on your roof, and in the event of a fire, your house is going to be the first one to go.
So inspect your roof.
Yes,
if you
inspect
have a wood one, think again.
Yes.
They also have keep lawns mowed and all plants watered. Lean and green is what they say.
Mm-hmm.
They also have move construction material and trash and wood piles to at least 30 feet away from the home and outbuildings.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen people stacking their firewood right against the building. Well, if there's embers flying around your house, I mean, and this happens. I mean, there's a wildfire coming, and it's not like you say, well, I'm going to move my wood pile now. No, you're going to leave, and if there's open wood, it's dry, it's ready to go in your fireplace. If an ember gets on it, it can ignite and be the source or the spot where the fire burned.
Yep. So it is a good idea to move it away. Also trim your trees. We kind of talked about that earlier, trimming them up, making sure that there's no bushes below or too many bushes or plants that are kind of congestion around the tree, because they'll catch on fire and then catch the upper part of the tree on fire.
Right. Ladder fuels, I think, is what the phrase they use.
And then chip and compost or haul yard debris to recycling centers. Or follow local fire regulations for burning yard debris, which we do have a period of time when we can burn fire debris.
Yep, here in Central Oregon, you can burn it in the wintertime, and all you have to do is to burn the yard debris is go on the fire department's website and pull a burn permit. And it's pretty simple. You have to read the one page, tell you what you're supposed to have: a shovel and a water and
snow on the ground.
Hopefully snow on the ground, and then you have to watch the fire the whole time. You can't just set the yard debris fire and then go in for lunch. You must watch it until it burns down. A couple other things you can do that help defense your house is, if you're going to put new siding on your home, don't put wood siding on. Put on a concrete siding. There are some very, very good products that are basically non-combustible that can keep the fire from attacking your home.
I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of those homes that are kind of in style now too have maybe like that rock finish lower to the ground, again trying to prevent
the fire
from laddering at the home.
Laddering at the home.
Yeah. One
of the things that we've worked with on terms of fire for years is trying to talk to people about protection classes. Okay.
And the interesting thing about this Senate bill is that they made this wildfire risk map. And insurance, we've had wildfire risk maps for decades, and we call them fire protection
classes.
Yeah.
So every single fire department in the country has been judged or has been graded by a company called the Insurance Services Offices, ISO. They visit the fire department, they find out how big it is, how many people they're protecting, and how much equipment they have, and how many men, and their response times, and all of these other metrics, and they give each fire department a rating between 1 and 10. Now, some fire departments can have more than one rating, and Lapine's an excellent example. If you're in Lapine and you're within 1,000 feet of a fire hydrant, then you can have a fire protection class of 4. And there are areas that are 5, and there's areas that are 7. But if you're more than 5 miles away from the fire department and you don't have a fire hydrant, then you're probably going to be in a protection class 9 or 10. Insurance companies use these protection class codes as part of their rating. So if you're in a protection class 4, the rate for your fire insurance is going to be quite a bit less than the rate for your than if you're in a PC10.
Because you have a higher chance that your home will not be incinerated to nothing.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, if you're
the fire department can come, that there's water supply for them.
Mm-hmm. If you're in a protection class 10, you more than likely don't have anybody that will respond.
Quickly
enough. I mean, if the fire department's not doing, the fire department in the next town or the next community isn't doing anything that day, and they feel like they have time, they can come put your house out. But lots of times, there's just no one to respond, and if your fire gets going, it basically burns to the ground. And so that's why it's more expensive to have a home in a protection class 10. So all of you future home buyers out there, or current home buyers, if you're looking to upgrade your home, before you buy it, check with your insurance agent and say, okay, is this home in an area that's going to make it easier and less expensive for me to own the home because the fire insurance is going to be less? Check that out, because I can't tell you how many times we've had people walk into our office and they have a beautiful home and it's on acreage and it's got views and all the things that they love about this home, and their current home, they're spending $600 on their homeowner's insurance, and all of a sudden we hand them a bill for $2,200 for their new homeowner's insurance, and that might make the home unaffordable for them. That might be the $200 a month difference, that the cost that they weren't anticipating. when it came to affording that home. And some people have done that after they bought it, and that puts a hardship on them, and it does make a difference. So be really careful when you're buying a home.
I think yeah. For us, like one of the things that caught our eye was, so they've made this new wildfire map. Like, how is insurance going to use it? I think that's the fun question for us.
One of the things that they are starting to use it, and a lot of insurance companies now are using wildfire scores. And it's a similar map to the one that the state is going to use. And
one that the Forest Service has put a lot of time and energy in to create this beautiful orange and red map.
Yes, orange and red for most of the state. And this map was created from using satellite technology, and so somebody's taken a picture of our neighborhood from outer space and assigned, based on what they can see from outer space, as to where the fire hazards are. Now, there are homes in the middle of the forest that happen to be maybe in the middle of a meadow in the middle of a forest that are far more protected than maybe a home in a neighborhood where, the homes are 12 feet apart, and if one catches fire and there's a conflagration going on, you'll lose the whole neighborhood. That home may be safer than the home that's in a neighborhood with that's not where the homes are too close together, or they're so close together that one sets the next on fire. But you have to, so there are going to be times when people are going to have to document for their insurance company what their home looks like. And
I mean, we have this now, where sometimes the insurance company will require images, so pictures of the front, side, back, and side of the house, and it will show if there's a lot of shrubbery close up to the side of the house, or if all of the trees are maybe further away the home with all of them trimmed and nice short grass, or if it's in a field of pole pines.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean.
Yes.
They're like, where's the home? I can't see it through the pole pines.
Yes, and what's going to happen is most insurance companies, after you buy a new homeowner's policy nowadays, will come out and inspect your home. And if they come out and find out that you haven't done any of the inspection or of the defensible space work, they may send you a letter saying, nope, we're not going to insure you anymore, and cancel your policy. So if you're buying a new home, make it, one of the criteria to make sure that the home is ready to go for that.
And they're starting to do it on renewals too, maybe ones that they've had for a long time. They might say, hey, we need to take a closer look at this one now because it is in this maybe high or extreme zone based on what the Forest Service has provided us, or maybe what their own PC class has provided for them.
Yeah, no, it's...
Or maybe they're just not interested in that risk anymore.
And when we have insurance companies that that really don't want to do business in some areas of the state, and they have priced their product accordingly, and then they'll look at your house from 30,000 feet up, or from outer space. They'll zoom in on it on Google Earth, and they'll say, there's too many trees. We don't want to insure that home. So keeping your home, so that the guy from outer space can see your roof and the green lawn around it, it's kind of important.
So water it now.
Water the lawn. Water the lawn.
Lean and green.
Lean and green is what we want to see. So this is new. This is something that's going to be a big topic as we go forward. From many different, and everybody's going to have a different opinion on this. This is.
Like I'm reading some of this, and they're saying really the places that are going to have the most issues with this new codes are going to be wildland urban face interface areas that are considered high and or extreme risk based on the wildfire risk map. So they're going to use this map, and anybody that's in that higher extreme risk, which is a good chunk of the state, will and considered part of the wildland urban interface, which again is really good chunk of the state because there's trees here, and we grow things.
Yes.
Yeah. those are the individuals that are going to see probably this the most, and like what we talked about at the beginning, those individuals who are pulling permits to make changes to their homes, or people who are building homes, or anybody who's trying to live in their home after they want that permit of occupancy.
Yeah, but then yes, and so it's going to change. We are going to see some major changes in how homes are protected, and so be aware and start working on it if you can.
It's definitely going to be interesting.
Yep.
I would definitely suggest that everybody takes a second. We'll have a link on the website, but check out the map. It's very interesting. You can search your address. It'll pull right on in, tell you what color you're in, tell you if you're in that high risk or in that extreme risk category. So it might be something you'd be worried about coming up in the future versus somebody who might be in more of that yellow-green area. It's really neat. It's something new. I'm curious to see how it's going to affect all of us in the future.
I guess it's going to affect everybody.
Yeah.
Almost everybody in the state. So, well.
If you have any questions about your homeowner's insurance,
give us a call.
Give us a call, 1-800-452-6826. We also do property coverage for buildings right in those high and extreme risk areas.
We can find insurance for them now.
Yeah, so if you have a commercial building that you're worried about as well, maybe you have a nice business in the woods and you need some coverage, we'd help you there as well. This is a topic that I don't think is going away anytime soon.
And we'll as we get more information, we'll update it.
And when does it go into effect, Rex?
I think it goes into effect January 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's right around the corner.
Yep.
Yep, so we're all learning. Give Bancorp Insurance a call or visit us online, www.bancorpinsurance.com. You can book an appointment right from our website, or you can give us a call at 1-800-452-6826.